Today's video is about road tripping. Now, this isn't something that I talk about a lot on the channel anymore, but I love to travel, particularly by automobile. And given that I like to live a pretty frugal lifestyle, I've found ways to get it done on the cheap. The biggest way that I've found to save money while traveling is by eliminating that cost of sleeping accommodations. And my favorite way to do that is by camping at Walmart. Now, perhaps you're thinking, what? Camping at Walmart? That's crazy. Or maybe you know a little bit about this, but the details are a little bit fuzzy. By the end of this video, I hope that they won't be. So come along for a little Spencer's Adventures field trip. So I have some work booked on the east coast of Canada, about 18 hours away from here where I live in Toronto. And I need to get out there on the cheap so I can bring as much of that money home with me when I'm done. So today we're gonna pack up my RAV4 for sleeping and hit the road. I'm gonna cover the drive. I'm gonna cover how I find specific Walmarts to camp at. I'm gonna show how I set up my bed for sleeping at Walmart, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the etiquette too. So without further ado, let's get driving. Okay folks, I'm on the road. It is super rainy today. It just stopped for a little bit, so I had enough time to pack the car. Today I'm going to try to get all the way to New Brunswick, and I'm going to Edmundston, New Brunswick. A lot of people want to do road trips. A lot of people like the idea of road tripping, but they're not really sure where to start. They feel like they need a tricked out camper van, or they feel like they need to stay at campgrounds, and those have become too expensive in my opinion. So they don't really know what to do, and I think they just end up not really doing anything. I think the main roadblock for a lot of people though is the sleeping. They don't know where they're going to sleep. Most times people are going to choose a hotel or a campground as their first choice. But a hotel is way too expensive. Like, I don't think if you're going somewhere for a couple of weeks, you're going to want to pay hotel costs every single night. Campgrounds have went up in price so much, especially since 2020, that I feel like an unserviced campsite around here is like $50. And I'm not going to pay $50 for a campsite. That is, again, breaking the bank, just too much for me. If you're able to cut that expense, you could afford to travel for probably double the amount of time that you had originally budgeted for had you budgeted for those sleeping accommodations. Walmart is for sure one of the best places that are well known for being allowing of overnight campers. However, you need to check because it really depends on locations, and you can get yourself in a little bit of trouble if you end up staying at a place that doesn't allow for it. So there's two really good websites that I use in order to check Walmarts in advance when I'm heading through different towns and I know I'll be going there, to see whether that Walmart is friendly to overnight campers. Those two websites are RV Parky and Allstays. Allstays is like the oldest one in the game. You can look up any Walmart in all of North America and potentially other places that have Walmarts, but for sure throughout all of North America. It gives a color-coded symbol. It's different W's for Walmart. The yellow one means you're good to go. Go ahead and camp there. A red one is like, this is not allowed. So I've been doing these races where I've been filming the motorcycle event for the last few years. And I've been traveling out there every time in my car and sleeping at this Walmart here in Edmundston. So I know it's a solid Walmart, and I know I'm not going to have any trouble, but I'll put up the page from Allstays on the screen here so you guys can just get a sense of what it actually says on the review, and then you can see what it actually looks like once we get there. So let's do some driving, and I'll talk to you more about Walmart soon. So I just got to the en route kind of pull off stop to get some gas and go to the bathroom. I'm right outside of Cornwall, Ontario. I'm basically at the Quebec border almost. I've been driving for now just 4 hours straight. Most of the day it has just been dumping rain on me, and it has been kind of tough to drive. My windshield wipers have hardly been able to keep up with it. I tried to capture a little bit of that on the camera. I hope it showed. If I keep cranking as per this schedule and I only make one more stop between now and arriving at the Walmart in New Brunswick, I'm set to get there around 10 p.m. There's a big tropical storm happening right now. I think it's been coming through like the Caribbean all the way through Texas, and now we're getting some of it up here. So I think it's not supposed to let up for the rest of the day, so it may slow me down with my driving a little bit. So once you get to Walmart, there's a little bit of etiquette that you want to make sure that you practice when you get there. It's not really a spot when you're camping there that you're supposed to like hang out. You know, they allow people to overnight sleep there. That's something that we want to maintain. We don't want to overstay our welcome. We don't want to really do anything that's going to turn off these Walmart locations from allowing overnight camping, because it's so valuable to so many people. So with that in mind, the etiquette rules that you really want to follow when you come to a Walmart is you want to just show up, you want to have your sleep, basically just get set up in the way that you need to go to sleep, and then leave in the morning. That's basically it. You don't want to be like setting out chairs, getting out a barbecue and cooking in the parking lot, really drawing attention to yourself. Because something like that may get customer complaints, right? You don't want to do anything that may influence a negative public opinion toward people living in their vehicles at these locations. Another thing is you probably don't want to stay at the same location for like a ton of days in a row, because they are going to notice that you're doing that, and it may make them think that you're like fully living there. The other thing that you can do when you're at these Walmart locations is you can be a patron of them. Go in there and buy any supplies that you may need. If you're stocking up on a few grocery items, you're getting some water, some toiletries, whatever it is, buy it at the Walmart location. So then you can win some good favor with that location when you're actually staying there. It makes it a little bit more of a reciprocal relationship. You're helping them a little bit, and then they're helping you by providing you a free place to sleep. Another thing which is often suggested when you sleep at Walmarts is to go in, speak to somebody who works there like a manager, and ask permission to sleep there. That's something that I have never done in the times that I've slept at Walmarts, and I've probably spent about 50 nights in my life sleeping at Walmarts over the years. I've never asked for permission. I use those sources that I mentioned, RV, Parky, All Stays, to get a sense whether these Walmarts allow overnight camping in the first place, and of course at the locations, if there's any sort of signage that says it's not available, it's not allowed, then I'll take that note and I'll also move on if I see that. Beyond that, I don't go inside and I don't ask for permission, just because you never know if you're going to get this one particular manager who doesn't like how you look and decides to say no, whereas if you didn't say anything and the place generally allows overnight camping, you could have just quietly come in, camped, left in the morning, and not heard any problem with it. And just circling back to that, courtesy is so important here. These Walmarts are allowing us to camp here for free, so we need to be sure to be courteous. We need to treat this, not leave garbage everywhere, nothing like that. Don't like spread out, as I said, and start cooking or sitting out there in your lawn chairs. Treat it like you're doing some sort of tailgating party out there. This is just a place to sleep, right? So show up, treat it like any sort of stealth camping situation that you're going to do, and you're really trying to minimize detection. Not that you're not allowed to be there, but you just don't want to draw a lot of attention to yourself. You just pull up, you climb into bed, you go to sleep, and in the morning you head out. And then buy something inside if you're going to go inside. That's basically the extent of it. That's the most you want to do, and you're going to have a great experience at Walmart. So quickly, I want to just talk a little bit about the vehicle. I'm driving a 2008 Toyota RAV4 with about 250,000 kilometers on it. My dad, he's a very crafty guy. He helped me build a bed in the very back of the vehicle that basically takes up the whole passenger side of the vehicle. And then all behind the driver's seat is storage. I do a lot of sleeping in my car throughout the summer for the motorcycle races that I film. So this is kind of a semi-permanent build for me because I use it so often. However, if you're going to be traveling around and doing a similar thing, and it's just going to be for one stint, you could build a bed like this just out of plywood like I did here. It was a very simple build. Or you could just put either an air mattress or some sort of lightweight foam mattress in the back. It's going to do you just fine. Okay guys, I've been absolutely punching it. It's just about 2 hours until I arrive now, and maybe we have run into some car trouble. So I had just got onto the highway after grabbing some gas, my only stop in Quebec, and about 5 minutes after getting onto the highway, all of these lights came on my dash. I got my check engine light, four-wheel drive, and VSC, which I'm pretty sure is traction control. This kind of thing happened to me when I was on my road trip in my Scion, actually, like last year. And what it ended up being was that I think the sensors were getting screwed up from all of the rain that I was experiencing in the wheels, the speed sensors. These cars are kind of a similar era, so I'm wondering if that is what the issue is. The car seems to be running completely fine. Like there seems to be nothing going on with it. So I think I'm okay. I think we're gonna make it to Walmart all right, guys. I think we're gonna be able to finish this video. Now my car is not a new car. My car is 16 years old and it has 250,000 kilometers on it. A lot of people would say that my car is not fit to travel the distance that I'm going to take it on. I would say that that is the opinion of the car companies, not the opinion of the driver. Because I have done a lot of road tripping and all of my cars have been at least 10 years old when I've driven them on these trips, and they've all had in excess of 200,000 kilometers on them. In 2016, I went on a cross-country road trip with my girlfriend at the time, driving a 2004 Toyota minivan with 283,000 kilometers on it. In 49 days, we put 21,000 kilometers on that vehicle, and the only thing that needed to be changed were the windshield wiper blades. The point is, don't let your vehicle be the barrier that gets you out on the road. You don't need to have a brand new car. You also don't need to have a $100,000 Sprinter van to get this done. Whatever you're driving, as long as the seat folds back or you can fold them down, you can find some way to sleep in this thing, you can camp on the cheap and get these road trips done. The promised land, folks. This is a hot Walmart for camping. So I just got into the Edmundston Walmart. Look at how many campers are here. Let's take a little tour around this place. Now I'll say, this doesn't happen at every Walmart. Usually during the summer, the Walmarts that actually allow camping, there's gonna be at least one other camper there when you're there. But this one is always a hot spot. I think just a lot of people who are traveling between the East Coast and then moving in toward the middle of the country, they stop at this one. And this one just seems to be really popular. Every time I come here, I never feel a problem. It's super busy. I can park amongst a bunch of other campers, and I'm the stealthiest one here. And I'm just gonna have an undisturbed sleep. The rain has finally let up for a little while, and now it is the perfect time to set up my bed. This is my setup for the night. I got my bed set up. So this is a rain gutter guard that my dad cut, and it already has mesh on it, and then it just has these holes. And this is another piece of, I don't even remember what, I'll put it in the description or maybe a title if I remember. These basically work together and I get a rain guard as well as a vent. You guys can get a sense how I get in. I got the bed set up. Crawl in here through the back side door. Pull it shut. Kick my shoes off. And I'm in bed. These curtains are all pretty much non-standard. They're from my old van. They're not meant for this vehicle at all. I'm just kind of finding ways in which I can tie all of these up and make them work. You know, that's not the best ever curtain, you know, you can still see in. To like really press themselves against the window in order to see me. This is good enough for me. I got pretty low standards when it comes to this stuff. I'm just ready to go to sleep. Oh yeah, that's good. Okay, so here we go. This is the setup. As you can see, I got black wrapping all the way around me here. And then I also have some reflectics here that my dad cut for me. Honestly, guys, I'm just so stoked to be at this Walmart. This is such a great location, and it's my first Walmart camp of the year, I think. And this is a great one to have as my first for the year. There's literally like 20 RVs here, and they're all very nice RVs, just kind of different ages, different sizes. And I'm probably the smallest, most stealth person here, but I even saw somebody pull up in a rental van that they were camping inside as well. So pretty cool. I'm off to sleep now. I'll let you guys know how it went in the morning, and we'll talk about a few final points. Okay, folks, I have awoken in the Walmart parking lot. It is just after 7:40 in the morning here. It is still raining outside, which is kind of a bummer, but what wasn't a bummer was my sleep. I slept really well. It was undisturbed. There was no noises. I didn't really toss and turn. It was just a good first sleep back at the Walmart parking lot. So now what I have planned is to take down all of these curtains, head inside, hopefully grab a cup of coffee and a few other just normal supplies for the road, and then hit it. Well, folks, I hope you found this video interesting and that there's something that you can take away from it. This is how you camp at a Walmart. It was a really good time. I encourage you to consider doing it if you're looking to travel and you want to save a little bit of money on the accommodations. It's a great way to see the country, go further and longer, but without spending so much of your cash. If you have any burning questions still left about Walmart camping that you don't feel were answered by this video, then ask them down below and I'll do my best to answer them down there. If you have any cool experiences camping at Walmart, something you've done before, or you're interested in doing the same, let me know below too. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.